What's up, Cinemaniacs? It's me. I'm here. I'm back. I'm going to be doing the worst films of 2014, the top 10 or the bottom 10 of 2014. Right now, I'm going to start off with the honorable mentions of 2014's worst list. Okay, first is Maleficent. That movie, they took this evil villain and tore her down to make her this kind of weak character when she used to be extremely intimidating and evil. And 97 minutes, that is all gone. Dumb and Dumber 2 really tried to play off the original. The chemistry between the two characters was still pretty good. The story and the laughs were just not there as much. The movie started off good and it slowly just got worse. So this film was definitely on the cusp of my worst films of 2014. We have Noah. The story was ambitious. The direction was okay, a little bit sloppy from time to time. Actors, great. But the CG work really pulled you out quite a bit. So that also towards the bottom of my 2014 list. The last movie up is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which really pains me to say because I really liked the animated film that came out several years ago. I enjoyed the original films way back in the day, but this one just did not do it for me. I had high hopes going in. The animation was overdone, and you did not really get to see the turtles, as this group of characters that really care for each other, but also like to pick on each other. You didn't get to see any of that stuff, which really sucked because I hoped that it was going to be good, and I love the Turtles, but this film was for 7 to 14-year-olds. Like, that is what this movie was for, and that's pretty much it. Those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they really let me down. All right, I'm going to try and fly through this list. We're going to start off with number 10 on this list is Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. This movie, the best character in it was Kevin Costner's character. This is probably one of my least favorite Jack Ryan movies in general. The evil villain, who was also the director, Kenneth Branagh, I just felt like really fell short on a lot of things in this movie, and his character was very weak. It was a very by-the-numbers, evil villain. You kind of saw the way this was planning out, and it just wasn't very good. It really let me down, so it's number 10 on my list. Number 9 is Divergent, and this movie is a big ripoff of The Hunger Games. It's like someone read the Hunger Games movie and was like, all right, I think I can create the exact same book, just give it a different title. That's what it felt like to me. And I didn't believe Shailene Woodley's character in this movie as this really strong woman badass. Didn't believe it. And I think that was due to the director. I think if they filmed some action shots a little differently, that would have helped a lot, but the script still wasn't that great, and it really left me kind of not wanting to see the next one, but I'll go see it anyway. I didn't really enjoy the first Hunger Games either, and the second Hunger Games was phenomenal. So hopefully this will be on the same plane. Number 8 on this list is Transcendence. Yes, Johnny Depp as a computer, kind of. It's strange. Johnny Depp was fine in the movie. All the actors were fine in the movie, except for Kate Mara. I expect a little bit more from her. Everything that I had kind of seen her in, the small sample size that I've seen, she's been very good. This movie did not give me that. Felt longer than it should have been. It really just fell flat. And it's unfortunately for Waller Pfister, but this movie is his directorial debut, and I really was hoping for a lot more action and better shots, but you didn't get that, and it made it kind of a boring film. Number 7 on this list is Joe, and Joe had the potential to be really good and get Nicolas Cage back on top. Well, Nicolas Cage did okay. Ty Sheridan, who was really good in this movie, but the director, David Gordon Green, he does this thing where he usually takes some natives of that land and incorporates them into his movie. Well, he did a good job with this one because Gary Poulter, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, he has since passed away, but he was an actual homeless man, and they had him in this movie, and he was perfect in this film. The movie just got stretched out way too long in some spots, and it ended up being pretty darn boring. You can only be captivated with these characters on a weak script for so long. You lose interest pretty quickly. Number 6 on this list is 3 Days to Kill. And that is where Kevin Costner does his best impression of Liam Neeson in the Taken movies. Not really, because this is more of like an action, has some comedy elements into it. And the film did just go on a little bit long. I did check my phone a little bit, and I really feel that this film is going to hurt Kevin Costner as the lead actor in general. He's going to probably fall more closer to the supporting roles like he did in Man of Steel and Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit, which also wasn't very good. Unfortunately for everybody, all the characters that are involved, they will not be making another one of these. It did terrible at the box office, and the movie was just not very good. Number 5 is Sex Tape. Yes, I really, really had high hopes for this movie. I thought it was going to be extremely funny. Nope. I laughed like 3 times in the whole movie. A sex tape that gets out, gets into the cloud, all these iPads that you owned is getting out to everyone that you love and care about, even people that you don't care about, like the mailman. It has the potential to be so funny. It fell so flat. Cameron Diaz and Jason Segel had no chemistry whatsoever. The best character in it was probably Rob Lowe's character. Their friends in the movie were pretty funny as well. I can't remember who those characters are. You'd recognize them if you saw them, though. That is for sure. I don't know. Maybe this film would have been a better SNL skit or something like that. They even had a sex scene montage in this film that could have been really funny, and it wasn't. You know what was funny? When I saw it when Team America World Police. That was funny. It was terrible. It was boring. It wasn't funny. And the best part of the scene is watching Cameron Diaz come on in roller skates for guys. Number 4 is The Monuments Men, and this movie should had been pretty good. George Clooney directing, you have John Goodman, Bill Murray, yada, 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 all these actors that are in this that are so good. They should have had much better chemistry than they did. I mean, the film was very boring. They really veered off the actual story, the based on true events. When you usually do that, you make it more entertaining of a film. This movie got worse. I think that the actual story would have been better. Watching a documentary of this probably would have been better than watching the movie version of this. George Clooney, this is his worst film by far as a director. Number 3, the movie is Sabotage. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger as a DEA task force leader, and his team goes in. They get involved in something that they probably shouldn't have. I say probably. They shouldn't have. And they get kind of caught, but because nobody in the team talks, they end up getting let go. You know, I don't know if it's several months or a couple years or whatever down the road. And then after all of that, their team starts getting picked off one by one by one. It's a real good crime thriller movie, and then it just takes this twist at the very end, which if it finished before it got to this last 10-minute clip or so, the movie would have been like a 6.5 out of 10. That last 15-minute clip pissed me off. It took it from a 6.5 down to a 3. I hated this movie now. It's too bad because it really had it had a pretty good story in it. And this is the one reason why David Ayer kind of scares me with his movies and going into the Suicide Squad. I just feel like he always does something that kind of irks me. Like in Fury, it irked me that he didn't make me feel for the tank. I mean, this movie's called Fury. The tank's called Fury. This is their home. This is where they live. This is their best job ever. The tank gets blown up at one point and nobody gives a crap. Nobody in the theater gave a crap either. The movie could have had so much more heart. And that's the only thing that scares me, is that it just never really gets you. He never really gets you fully developed into these movies. I just have a feeling that it's going to be okay, but not as good as it should be. Number 2 on this list is I, Frankenstein. You have Aaron Eckhart as Frankenstein, who is this really handsome guy who has some scars on him. And it pains me because Yvonne Strahovski is one of my Hollywood crushes, I would say. Loved her in Chuck. But she's not believable in this movie as a scientist at all. Frankenstein, Aaron Eckhart, not believable as Frankenstein at all. He does a great job in the action sequences. The CG work in this is terrible. And you know what this film did for me? It led to me and my brother talking why there isn't a Gargoyles movie. For 40 minutes, we talked about that outside of the theater. We didn't talk about this movie because it was bad, and we wanted to forget it. It was really bad. Last up on this list is Transformers 4. Such a disappointment. I kind of had moderate to high hopes going into this film. I was hoping that it was going to keep getting better and better and better. Like, you had the first Transformers, which was awesome. Then you have the second one, which did a total 180 and was horrible. The third one, which kind of started to bring you back into liking these movies again. And then the fourth one was just as bad as the second one, if not worse. Overacting. You have Mark Wahlberg as this scientist who nobody believes is a scientist. You have this relationship between the daughter and her boyfriend that is really creepy because they have to go into this Romeo and Juliet law, which Michael Bay probably thought was hilarious. It really wasn't. Even the CG work, which is usually amazing in these movies. I don't know if this happened in all theaters, depending on what it was shot on. I have no idea. But I saw it in IMAX, and some of the CG work seemed so shoddy. It looked like it was stop motion, like claymation almost. Holy cow, did they get lazy on some of the CG work. I really hope Michael Bay's done with this franchise and they pass it on to somebody else who has a different vision, who will actually get you to care for the Transformers and the human characters that are involved in it as well. I don't know which way they're going to go with this. They're going to make another one because it still made a buttload of money. But in the U.S., you saw a big drop-off. So I'm hoping that we're catching on that these movies aren't very good, because there was about $100 million drop-off from the third movie to the fourth movie. So I'm really hoping that Michael Bay's days are numbered when it comes to this franchise. Go back and do Bad Boys 3. Martin Lawrence really wants to do it. He's been pining for it on Facebook quite a bit. Just get that done. Do that. Don't screw it up. You haven't made a good movie in a while. Please get back to your roots. Ugh, Michael Bay. I am not a Michael Bay hater. I want him to make good movies. He's just really disappointing me lately. And by lately, I mean several years worth of disappointment. All right, so what was your worst films of 2014? Were any of the ones that I named on your list? Why don't you let me know in the comment section below. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the CineBros. You can also check us out over at Facebook on facebook.com/the CineBros. In the meantime, make sure you click that subscribe button, help share, and help us grow this so that we can get up to 100 subscribers. I want to be able to give away that digital download. But remember, in the meantime, just click that subscribe button, share the videos with whoever you think might like it. Even if you don't think they like it and you want to torture them with my face, do it. In the meantime, I'm going to try and get my anticipated movies of 2015 out to you very soon. Hopefully, I'll keep that under 10 minutes as well. I don't know if this is going to be about 10 minutes. I'm hoping that it'll be about 10 minutes. We'll see. If I keep rambling like this, it's not going to be 10 minutes. In the meantime, have a great day, and I will look forward to talking to you again soon.